All right, I want to talk about not one, but two different apparent financial scams that we've learned about over the last 24 to 48 hours. I've told you now many times it is going to take months, if not years, to learn the full scope of the grifting and scamming and wrongdoing of the former administration, and the financial aspect of that are a big piece of it. Let's start with part one, Donald Trump's presidential salary. We are still learning more and more about the different lies around Trump's finances. Donald Trump is reportedly worth about $2 billion. I know there are claims that it's like four or five. The best guess is he is worth about $2 billion. The presidential salary is about $400,000. Okay. We now have reason to believe that Donald Trump, despite promising to donate his presidential salary, that he did not donate the last 6 months of salary, about $200,000. Now, remember, he pledged to donate his full salary. He said, I don't need the money. I'm doing this for the betterment of the country. Yeah. So I'm going to be donating my salary to federal agencies. There's a new Washington Post report which finds that there is no evidence that Donald Trump actually did that with his salary for the last 6 months in office as president. For the first 3.5 years of his presidency, he donated the money to federal agencies. The Washington Post said it surveyed all major federal agencies, and none of them reported receiving a donation from Trump from the point starting in July of 2020, the last 6 months of his presidency. The paper said it was unable to account for that last $200,000+ of Trump's salary that was supposedly going to be donated. His last known gift was to the National Park Service in July, according to government documents. So I think the explanation for what happened here is very, very simple. We know that as Donald Trump's one-term presidency went on, Trump was more and more agitated about not getting more positive coverage for the fact that he was donating his salary. I think Trump got sick of the fact that he wasn't getting the coverage he wanted. Trump is both cheap and greedy. So he said, if my salary donation isn't buying me any positive media coverage, I'll just keep the money. That would be very on brand for Trump. I don't think we have to look very far for a sensible explanation. Also, by the way, making it extra bizarre that Trump apparently didn't donate the last 6 months of salary is that, remember, it wasn't, I have enough money, so I'm going to stop making money and do the presidency, but donate my salary and just make nothing for these 4 years. Trump kept making money while he was president. He reportedly made $1.6 billion over those 4 years, meaning that even the salary he donated is like 0.1% of what he made. And he still apparently didn't donate the full salary despite his promise. Now, I think it's important to mention, just to be thorough, the Washington Post clarified we were unable to verify Trump's donations, and we did not get a response when we asked for comment. It's theoretically possible that he donated it somewhere and we don't know where and we just can't track it down. It's possible. But again, the point is he had been doing it to federal agencies, reporting it. There were disclosures. There was documentation. The paper trail stops with 6 months left to go. The paper went to Trump's business and asked about it. They went to the former lawyer who helped arrange the donations. Nobody responded. OK, now, also, some may not know Trump continues to receive a pension of $220,000 a year as a former president as well. So there are people who wrote to me and said, David, this is a sign that Trump is broke. I actually doubt it. That would make keeping the money more logical. Certainly, if Trump was broke, it would make sense to keep that last $200,000. Trump's not likely broke. And that's what actually makes the story even wackier. Trump, the fact that he is so cheap, despite being a $2 billionaire, is actually even more stunning than Trump somehow ending up broke. But no, he made $1.6 billion during his 4 years in the White House. I don't think he's broke. But there is an even bigger scam. OK, and we're going to talk about this in a moment. Donald Trump has now raised somewhere between $70 and $80 million from his followers on the promise that the money was going to be used to fight the election results, to fund audits, to fund recounts, to fund lawsuits and investigations to try to overturn the election and put Trump back in power. The latest report is that none of the money, the 70 or 75 or 80 or 82 million that was donated for that reason, None of it actually was used by Trump for the things he claimed he was raising the money for. And of course, on the tail end of it, his supporters won't actually care. He could walk up to one of them on Fifth Avenue and shoot them, and they would cheer and assume that it was secretly Antifa or something like that. And what I want to talk about next is a new report that not only did Donald Trump not use the 70 or 80 million for what he said he was going to use it for, there are new disclosures which show that Donald Trump funneled those donations into his personal businesses. Let's talk about that next. I'm really excited that one of our sponsors today is Helix Sleep. I sleep on a Helix mattress at home. I absolutely love it. And that's why I reached out to them about sponsoring the David Pakman Show. Buying a mattress in the past was always a huge guessing game for me. I didn't know what I actually needed. I didn't know what I would like. But Helix has a sleep quiz on their website. You tell them your body type, your sleeping position, your back pain issues you might have, and their tool matched me with a mattress that is perfect for me. It's cool enough at night. It's the right firmness. I generally just do way better sleeping these days because of the mattress. Helix was awarded #1 best overall mattress for the last 2 years by both GQ and Wired Magazine. It is well-deserved, I can tell you firsthand. Every Helix mattress comes with a 10-year warranty. You can try the mattress risk-free for 100 nights, and they will even come pick it up at your house if you don't love it, but I know you will. All of my viewers will get up to $200 off your order, and you'll get 2 super premium pillows for free when you go to the link right underneath this video.